bit where I introduce myself. Yes, okay. Hi, my name's Nigel McKenna. If you'd like to reach out to me by email, it's Nigel T McKenna, McKenna @googlemail.com.
What do you think makes your campers stand out from the rest of them?
That's a really good question, which I am going to be hopefully answering throughout the series of questions that I know you've already got ready for me. However, if I was just to summarise and say just the component cost of this build alone come to £50,000, and most of the parts I managed to get at trade or better, so you could probably put another £10,000 on top of that, and hopefully you'll see that as this video goes on.
Why might people want to choose to buy a camper from you?
Whilst I'm not a dealer or a manufacturer, I have been building camper vans for the last over 10 years, each time for a different purpose and a different level. So I kind of know what works and what doesn't work, and I've spent a lot of time making sure that everything works absolutely perfectly. It's very frustrating when you build something and it's got flaws like cable hanging out of a socket preventing drawer from opening, stuff like that.
Can you tell me what wood you have used for the furniture and why?
Okay, so we move into the van. It's quite a light wood other than the top. The top's bamboo, as is the sides. That's a tiger bamboo. The reason I've used bamboo is it is the most sustainable hardwood that you can get. Not many campers are done in bamboo because of the cost of it. However, I fancied the challenge, and being sustainable, it was the natural approach to go.
Why have you designed the interior lighting the way you have with so many different settings?
Oh, okay, so what lights have we got? We've got strip LED in the pop top. The reason that's up there is because we have a remote for it. So if I turn it on the screen, and you can see I can alter, I can dim, and I can turn it on and off. So the beauty of that one is whoever's sleeping upstairs, they take the remote with them. You don't need to wire up a switch up there. So that's upstairs. So downstairs we've got the main lights. Now unfortunately on the video they do flicker, but they don't flicker in real life, rest assured. So the main cabin, which again is dimmable. Okay, so that goes all the way around to give you a good level of lighting. So we'll turn that one off. Then we have the downlight. So each downlight, and they're positioned 2 above the bed for sleeping, all down the side for the different sitting positions, and they are independently controlled by touch. You press and hold and it will dim. So they're positioned, there's a couple at the front of the van as well, so if you're sitting in the front seats, they're ideal for reading, etc. Then we have what we call mood lighting, and also, to be honest, the cooker light is really practical. So if you're preparing some food, you can light just that area. And that with the drawer light, again, this is really for mood lighting of an evening when you just want some ambient light. You don't want it in your face. And again, you can set that to any level you like. But I'm going to turn them off because they're flickering for the camera. I'm just going to get rid of that.
What sockets have you used, and why have you positioned them the way they are?
Okay, so there's only one set of sockets. When I say one set, I mean one series of sockets, because we have a inverter charger. I don't need to have separate sockets for the mains as what I do from running off the batteries, but I'm sure we'll get into that in a bit. So where are the sockets? Traditionally you have sockets up here, maybe on here. The problem with all of that is the leads get in the way when you're trying to work, when you're trying to prepare food, when you're trying to go in the drawers. So we have 2 sockets here, so they're ideal for the occupants, maybe sitting in this position. Just over me, you can't see. I've got to run round already. Here we go. There's one placed here at the back. Reason for that one is everyone charges a phone at night, don't they? So you can plug it in, put the phone down next to you. So there's that one, and letters. Nope, that was a bad bit of filming. So maybe the camera person can go in behind the driver's seat. There's a set of 3 sockets there. So the reason for those ones, again, for the person sitting in the double seat, which is exactly where the viewer is now, they can charge at devices, laptops, etc. So trailing leads are not going to interfere with any drawers, cupboards, fridges, etc. And breathe.
I can't see any appliances. Does the van have an oven?
Does it have an oven? Does it have a conventional oven? No. Does it have an oven? Yes. So hidden away here we have a double drawer Ninja air fryer, so full size, 2 absolutely massive drawers, which if you can't cook for say a family of 6 using just them, then you need to polish up your cooking skills. They're a fantastic bit of kit. They do produce quite a lot of heat, but that's all accommodated for in the build. Very efficient, very quick. So that's the oven.
What about a sink and a hob?
Okay, so sink's hidden away, and then we also have a double induction hob. Induction because it's more efficient, it can't blow out like gas can.
Traditionally, sinks and hobs are next to each other. Why have you designed this one in the way that you have?
Okay, I guess the safety conscious side of me wanted to, the same as what you would do in a domestic dwelling, is separate electric from water. So traditionally you'd have the sink on the left with the hob right next to it, and most builds are the same as that. I don't think there's a regulation, however for me it makes sense to actually have as much separation from your electrics to the water as possible, and that's adequate separation. Also, you're unable to use the air fryer and the sink at the same time, and that's been designed specifically again so you don't get the interaction with water.
I feel like you're about to bore me with the electrics. Go on.
Right, deep breath. Yes, I could get carried away with this. I'll try and get all the facts and figures right. So where do we start? This is a electric only van, no gas. Why, I don't know. I think it's the sign of things to come. Gas is relatively easy to install, but a lot of people worried about it. It is quite dangerous. So for some crazy reason, and probably for the right reason, I've decided to embrace the electric side. So what does that mean? So obviously we have got all these domestic appliances now, to enable them to run correctly as they would in a normal dwelling, there's a massive amount of power. So what do I mean by that? Traditionally in a camper van you'd have 1 or 2 leisure batteries. Those are generally about 100 amp hours. So in this van, situated under here, we have the equivalent of over 9 leisure batteries. So there's 3 300 amp hour lithium batteries. So not only is that 9 times the size, but that's actually a lot more efficient than a leisure battery. So you could probably go, say it's up to 15 times the size. That enables true off-grid, there's a bug, off-grid living. So how do we make those batteries work? So those batteries power obviously all the 12 volts in the van, all the 12 volt lights. That is through our distribution panel, which I might as well show you. So this is a service panel and not one you would normally go into. Did you notice a soft closing lid there? Anyway, we'll get into that another time. So it's 2 batteries there. You can see there is 3 isolators for each of the batteries. There's some more other fuses down there. This is the main distribution board, a big 400 amp fuse, and behind that is the other battery. So that distribution board connects up to the first control display, which is Renogy 1 core. That gives some of the basic information, but it's the main communication hub. From there we've got the Vision 7, which is a touchscreen which has the controls for absolutely everything, and you can configure it any way you like. So different symbols, different overload settings, different positions, different logos. So at the moment, if we just go onto the screen, I can see we have got 94% charge, and we've got 35 watts coming in. That's coming in from the solar, because it's showing me it's coming in from the solar. So we'll get onto solar. So on the roof there is 400 watts of solar panels, and there's an additional 200 watt solar panel which folds out over the windscreen, fits perfectly. So that's a total of 600 watts. So that's a mass amount of power. That comes in through to a DC-DC charger, and that DC-DC charger is 60 amps, so it's a massive DC-DC charger. And that also connects to the engine alternator, and it will decide smartly whether it's going to charge from the alternator, from the solar, a bit of both, to give the absolute maximum draw it can. And that can handle up to 700 watts, which again is absolutely huge. So everything about this van is done to the maximum scale. The reason for that is inside this cupboard here, just have a quick look, there is a big inverter. So that's a 3000 watt inverter. It's as big as they come, and that basically means you've got 240 volts seamlessly on and off the grid. It switches instantly if you're plugged in. To be honest, I don't think you need to plug in much with that much solar, unless it's really dark for a long period of time and you're constantly on the air fryer. Mostly you won't need to plug in. What have I missed with electrics? No, let's go with that for now.
Is it just cold water at the sink?
No. Probably 5 minutes ago, I turned on what we have is a Robusto Evo thermal top Evo water heater. So what that means is we've run out of water. Oh dear, we're absolutely oh dear. So I can tell by the sound the pump's just equalised that actually we've run out of water. I should have filled up the tank. So there's a 70 litre underslung water tank that goes through to a 45 psi pump, which also has a 0.75 litre accumulator on it, which normally gives you continuous flow water, both hot and cold, but unless it's got enough water to draw in, the pressure will fluctuate. So I'll fill up the tank when we get home. I'll chuck a bit at the end to show what the water should look like. But hot and cold, yes, through the diesel heater, and also if you look under the driver's seat, there's a fan unit there. So that fan unit produces hot air for the van. It works by heating up 7 litres of coolant, and then that goes through heat exchangers, and you can warm the van at the same time as having hot water. There's 4 settings on that, and there's a thermostat up here. So as well as the hot and cold at the sink, what you also have here is a stealth flap, and there's a fill-up point for the tank, which we should have used before we came, and here there's an external shower point. So hopefully there might just be enough water left in. I can demonstrate. So with the shower point, you can vary the temperature between hot and cold and anywhere in between. We'll put it on fully hot. This is long enough so you get plenty of just to rinse your feet or have a full-blown shower. As you can see, really good flow until it's about to run out of hot water. Yeah, that's hot. So that's the shower point.
The van has a very basic exterior, is it, and are there any hidden appliances?
It generally is basic. I've done it that way because everyone likes to customise slightly different. Someone likes big wheels, someone likes swamped wheels, spoilers, rails, you name it, you'll never get it right, so I didn't bother. Save a couple of £1,000, you can customise it yourself when you buy the van. There is some features that I'd like to mention, obviously the stealth lamp, because I don't like stuff on the outside of the van. We have here Remo multi-rail, absolutely essential when you've got a pop top. So the pop top, let's mention the pop top at the same time. That's a Remo, so that's top of the range pop top. And when we go back in, I'll show you the luxury mattress that sits on its own spring. So £1,000 extra, well worth it, absolutely well worth it. So the multi-rail you need, otherwise the water comes off the pop top, and as you go in and out the door, it drips on your head and your legs and your side, and you get absolutely soaked. That's why you have a multi-rail. Very expensive, well worth it as a gutter, but then you can also string your awning either side as well, so it gets lots of versatility. Back to the electrics, and at the front we have the main electrical entry point. So you plug in there, again, looks really smart. That you can leave on your windscreen. I've driven away with electrics connected for, that's why I've gone for this system. What I do with that, is I simply put it on the driver's seat. Okay, that way you're not going to get in without seeing it, so you know to unplug. Back to this side. Again, you've got a Remo multi-rail to stop the passenger getting wet when they come in and out, and also there's extra security for the Fiamma awning to mount against as well as the roof. It's got the Kado, the facility to put the Kado strip in, both on the awning, on the rail itself. So again, really versatile for attaching awnings and sunscreens, sunshades, etc.
I've noticed there are rails in the floor. Why are there so many of them?
Okay. I'm just going to turn the diesel heater off. So there's 4 rails in the floor. The bed, which is a Moby frame bed, only actually uses 2 of those. The reason I put 4 in was obviously I had the option. It's a insulated floor that's bonded in place, M1 crash tested, same as the bed is. 4 rails is versatility. So at the moment this van is configured double seat, single seat, double seat bed. So that's 5. You might need 6 or 7 or 8. So you can just buy single seats and they'll clip straight into the rail and be absolutely safe for the passengers. So you could put another double seat in here, you could put 2, 3, 4 single seats. You really can configure it any way you like. You can get attachments for your bikes so they secure to it so they're not rattling around. You can get attachments and make tables and put them in the rails as well. So it just turns around. Really versatile. The other thing about the rails is the bed itself. So the bed you can position all the way forward, as far forward as the fridge, giving you a massive boot, or all the way back, giving you maximum living area and anywhere in between. So that actually leads me to why certain things are designed the way they are. So for instance, originally I had an air fryer in here, which is like a traditional place to put an oven. If your bed's further forward, you can't use your oven. So the only thing that really is going to get interfered when the bed comes fully forward is one drawer. and that's this drawer here. So your normal use, unless you're going to the extreme, that's kind of like your emergency drawer. This is up above the bed, so it's fine. All the other drawers, which there is plenty full of, can get used all the time. They're all soft close drawers, and there's two absolutely monsters under the bed as well. So maybe we swap positions, I can show you the monster drawers. So the first one is supported by 100 kgs, what are they called? Runners. And it also runs off the track as well, so it's well supported. Massive side there, great for clothes, great for food. And then underneath you have this monster drawer as well. So loads and loads and loads of storage. Just next to it here, this flap has one on the opposite side as well, so if you want to put in long items like fishing rods, skis, timber, you can do. So it's designed for maximum configurability. Oh yeah, absolutely. Above the sink we have the overhead lockers. So again, these are designed for the normal size tins, your cup of tea stuff, your pasta, absolutely massive amount of storage. These are the only ones that aren't on a soft close system, because it just wasn't practical. I tried probably 10 different style of hinges, wasn't happy with any of them. That's by far the best hinge for that purpose.
I've heard there is something unique about the fridge. What is it?
Yes, so Transport HQ fridge, which if you're sitting in the front you would open to reach in as so. However, if you're standing where I am, I would probably want to open it that way and reach in. Or if you want to load it or you want to clean it, just remove the door and chuck it out the way. It's the only fridge I know of at the moment, although I know there is another one that's come out that does that. Really great feature that makes just day-to-day life so much easier. And it just clips back in place, which thankfully that did. Like that.
Can you give me a brief tour of the van?
I can, yes. I think there's one thing I haven't shown you first, which is probably the actual bed. So maybe I'll go through the bed and then we're going to do a whistle stop around the van. So I said earlier about the ability for the bed to slide back and forth. I'll demonstrate that in just a sec. The beauty of this bed is most beds, they slide out the way, so anything you've got on the floor you have to move out the way. Okay, this doesn't. So if there's stuff on the floor, wet kit, I don't know, just slides above it. It can all stay on the floor. The dogs can stay on the floor. So the other thing you will notice is you're sleeping on the back of the seat, so it's all absolutely perfectly flat. The headrest there, at the moment, you know, you might be in the lounging in the day, you can set this at any angle. I'm not doing this when I'm lying on it because I'm going to go flying backwards. We'll do it from the back. So you can just go down a little bit more, etc, etc, and go all the way until it's flat. Now that didn't go all the way flat then because of the position of the bed. I need to go forward a couple of inches, so I'll just I'll move the bed forward and show you that. You wait there. I've put it too upright. That together. now I'm going to put it into a halfway position. So that's halfway forward. You can see you've got a massive amount of boot. That's the bed fully flat. And what that also gives you is an excellent partial shelf when you're you know, storing stuff in the boot. So, catch me breath, whistle stop tour of the van, yeah? Wardrobe. Accessible both when you're lying in bed and from the outside. A lot of vans is either or, this one's got both. Again, massive amount of storage in the wardrobe. Said about the sockets for charging whilst you're in bed. Said about the external shower, hidden behind the flap. Curtains all round. Pyjama awning on the Remo multi-rail, Remo pop top. Hidden charge point. Remo multi-rail on the driver's side as well. Bed fully slidable, forward and aft. We have sink unit, the induction hob, sockets everywhere you want them, which is there, which is hidden down here, which is in the back. Air fryer, Vision 7 touchscreen for controlling all the different lights, all the different appliances. Double opening fridge, crash tested bed and floor, swivelling double passenger seat, which also has a mass amount of storage. Under the driver's seat there is the hot air blower for the Webasto diesel heater, which also gives you the hot water. Have I missed anything? Yes. Look at that spring system. If the mattress wasn't thick enough, it sits on those springs, and trust me, that's £1,000 well worth spending. That cost rubbish, didn't it? Well worth spending. Shall I just give up? Oh, what else have I missed? No? Okay, hopefully that's given you an idea what the van's about. It is up for sale, so if you're interested, please get in touch. I've told you what I spent on it. I'll let you come to me with sensible offers well over that price. Okay, thanks for your time. Okay, Mark 2 of the water. Now I've actually put some more water in the tank, so as I start it, you can see you've got a consistent and very good flow of hot water. Okay, thank you.